Thanks for joining us today at this post AGM member highlight discussion. First, can you just share who you are and what your relationship to Stocksy is?
For sure. Yeah. I am the Director of Operations and Governance here at Stocksy. I've been with Stocksy for 6.5 years. I started as the office manager and slowly started kind of getting into the business, getting into the co-op, completely new to the co-op space when I joined Stocksy and started kind of nerding out on governance and then was able to sort of weave my path towards this sort of role now. So yeah, it's
Awesome.
pretty exciting.
Cool. Thanks for sharing that. Now, can you introduce Stocksy a bit more and tell us um, about what work Stocksy does as a co-op?
Yeah, so Stocksy just celebrated our 11th year. We are a royalty-free stock media platform cooperative. So we license stock media. So that includes photos, videos, illustrations, things like that through our website to our clients. We are headquartered in Victoria, BC, but we are actually international. So we're a multi-stakeholder cooperative with team members in 8 countries around the world and members in 82 countries around the world. And we have 1,900 cooperative members currently.
Wow, that's pretty. I mean, I knew, but still hearing all those numbers said out loud, it's quite impressive and yeah, it's amazing. It's cool that you're headquartered in Victoria, but are
Yeah.
so all over. What was the reason behind creating Stocksy, and what need was the group sort of trying to address when they came together?
For sure. So Stocksy's founders were all veterans of the stock industry, and a lot of them had come from a previous agency that they grew and developed and eventually sold to kind of a larger stock conglomerate. And sort of what happened is after that sale, they sort of watched the product, watched the contributors, the contributing photographers become marginalized, the product devalued, and they just watched it kind of get eaten up by corporate enterprise. And so they took a step back and were just like, okay, how can we do this? We know this works. We know that you have this amazing engaged community of artists. How do we do this differently? And so they looked to the co-op model as that opportunity. So Stocksy, started in kind of California, in Calgary, kind of a little hybrid. We were originally incorporated in Alberta and then continued into BC a few years later, where we are now.
Okay, great. Um, so in that case, who were what was the founding members' sort of relationship to the co-op? Because I know that Stocksy has a number of different kinds of membership, which I think we'll get into, but that forming group was artists
Yeah. So
engineering.
initially we had, I believe when we started, we've always had 3 classes of memberships, but the eligibility for each membership was a little bit different. It's evolved over time now, but when it started, the Class A group were all founders. The Class B group were eventually staff members with 2 year, had been with the co-op for more than 2 years in order to be eligible, and then our contributing base, our Class C members. And then what's happened over time is a lot of our founders have departed, and so that Class A has now evolved into an external advisory class. All 5 of those members serve on our board of directors, and they are all external, provide external expertise outside of the actual business. And then the B class is our team members. So all team members, it has evolved over time from being you had to work for 2 years, you had to do this, to now it is after your 90-day probation, you're automatically eligible to apply for Class B membership. And so that means that everybody in our cooperative is also a member of our cooperative. So there's no half in, half out type situation.
Gotcha. Cool. Um, what benefit do members get from joining Stocksy?
Yeah. So they get all the benefits of being in a cooperative, the decision making and having a say and having a voice, attending our governing events and things like that. But also what comes with it. So from a team member perspective, Stocksy, it sounds like BC Co-op Association has also let go of their primary office. Stocksy did the same thing. after 2020. So we are now a fully remote workforce. So prior to that, we were 30 members in office in Victoria, and then we had 20 members around the UK and North America. And now we can hire from anywhere and you can work from anywhere. So that's a huge benefit from being an employee. And 40% of our workforce is outside of Canada now. So that's just really opened up the inclusivity of our team base. In terms of being a member, we pay out the highest royalties in the business. So it's 61 was the number I pulled. $61.6 million since inception has gone into our members' pockets in royalty rates. And we've also paid out $1.6 million in patronage in our time. We have really extensive member education. We have member mentorship. We have just being a part of our community. You're part of this global community of creatives. Our membership is incredibly, they just reach out and they want to help each other all the time. And it's just really neat to watch our forums and people sharing their resources and tips. And a new thing that our team just did is we've just pulled together some discount opportunities for some of our film creators to get discounts for film labs. So we try to source, partnerships and discounts for our members as well. So our member education and mentorship program is incredibly robust.
Wow, that sounds amazing. I'm really impressed by, and I'm really impressed by just how you started talking about how big Stocksy is and the scale, and then also how it actually sounds like there's a lot of um, community still within the organization, even with this very wide geographic spread and lots of people. And I'm wondering what you think. Like, is it the education program, or is there other things that you feel have contributed to Stocksy's ability to sort of grow and sustain itself while also maintaining this sort of community feel, this co-op feel at such a large scale?
Well, I think the co-op model itself is sort of holds yourself accountable to sustainability in a way. Because we have to keep the member in mind with every decision that we make. And so the business itself just runs differently and the decisions require more care. And so you have that responsibility to the people, not only that you work with, but also that we actually are working for. We are working for our contributors. So every decision that we make is to make sure that we are making a sustainable, smart choice for the long term. So and we also have really rigorous acceptance criteria to become a contributing member at Stocksy. So our acceptance rate is around 1.5%. So that ensures that we can scale and grow our membership sustainably and actually manage it. So we're kind of growing at the rate that we're also seeing attrition and lack of as our members have things that come up and their engagement dwindles, we're able to balance that by bringing in new members who kind of fill that space. And then we have our staffing levels have been pretty consistent. We've kind of keep hovering around that 50 mark. That seems to be sort of that spot for us. We always are like, oh, we want more people, and then we grow, and then we kind of realize like, oh, actually, I think this is kind of the number that we seem to do well at. And then we're just lucky that we have clients who love us and just keep coming back to spend money on our members' incredible content.
Amazing. Um, I'm so impressed. It's so cool. I know that Stocksy recently had a change in leadership. Are there any upcoming changes or opportunities that you're looking forward to in this new era?
Gosh, so much. So Stocksy has a new CEO. Our VP of Legal, Margaret Vincent, was our interim CEO for the past year. And our board of directors, it sounds like a very similar story here between the BCCA and Stocksy United, is our board of directors really stepped up and our staff really stepped up to fill that space while we were recruiting for a new CEO. And so Trace Cohen is our new CEO. She comes to us she's based in New York. And she has just extensive experience in strategy, brand building, marketing. And she, within her first 30 days, was already presenting a strategic assessment to our board of directors. And so we presented that to our membership at April's AGM. And now we have a very clear focus on 3 objectives. So we have a very what would I call it, ambitious revenue target for the next year that we're all aligned around. We want to establish Stocksy as a premium brand in the industry. And another core objective is building a thriving and diverse membership. So the entire cooperative right now has been restructured around these three key focus areas. And so that's what we're working on right now, is mapping all of that out and seeing how we can achieve them.
Amazing. Cool. That's all. Sounds very exciting. We're just running out of time now. So I just as a last piece, I'm curious if there's anything, if folks on the call are interested in using the amazing content of Stocksy, do you have any want to point people in the right direction to to co-ops supporting other co-ops and supporting your work?
Oh yeah, well you can visit our website, stocksy.com. We're just setting up a discount program right now. It's actually funny, I just did it yesterday. So yeah, hit me up directly. I'll pop my email in the chat if you're interested, or you can send an email through the intake form on the site, and we can probably figure out how to set up a little co-op discount if you're interested in some content.
Amazing. Great. Thanks so much, Michelle. And we'll pass it over to Zoe and Harriet Proctor. And then at the end, if we have time, we'll open up for some questions to everyone. Thanks so much.